Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So everyone, this is my research relating to Islamophobia in Southeast Asia, current challenges among Muslim Malays, okay, with specific examples from Malaysia. Okay, so basically, who are Malays? It is important to define who is Malays here, okay. So basically Malays, okay, 400 years ago, there's a group of people which is believed from the south of China who moved to Malay Peninsula area, and then later on, this can be considered as the first Malay people, okay, who basically who live in this land, okay. And then later on, of course, from the earlier historical evidence, they receive influence from Hinduism, and then they also receive, influence from Buddhism. Okay. Later on, okay, Alhamdulillah, later on, okay, they receive Islam and becoming Muslims. Okay, upon the arrival of Arab traders. Okay, basically based on the evidence, historical evidence. Okay, this happened maybe around 10th century, or it is believed also it happened earlier from 7th century. Okay, and then later on we have in Peninsula Malaysia the first Islamic state, okay, of Malay, basically based in Terengganu. Okay, and then this state is basically already in existence since 1303. Okay, and then later on we have the historical the historical record regarding to Malacca, and then of course later on Islam continue to be continue to spread in this area. Okay, and then nowadays, okay, in our current situation, okay, Malay will be identified, okay, automatically as Muslim. Okay, which means that, okay, even under Article 160, okay, of Federal Constitution of Malaysia, Malays means a person who profess the religion of Islam, habitually speak in Malay language, conform to Malay custom, which means that if a Malay suddenly convert to other religion, for example, this person already lost, okay, his identity, not just as a Muslim, but then also as a Malay. Okay, so right now, what is Islamophobia? So basically, when we mention about Islamophobia, this occurrence, okay, of event when it comes to Islamophobia already keep on increasing, okay, after the 9/11 incidents, and then of course after that incident, okay, the westernized, okay, the Western world already portray Muslims, okay, as those people who are basically extremists, those people who are basically much more inclined to do violence activity and so on. Okay, and then this is definition from all party parliamentary group on British Muslims in 2018. Okay, where they define Islamophobia as racism. Okay, and a type of basically a type of racism which target expression of Muslimness or preserve Muslimness. Okay, this means that not only the attitude of Muslim, not just being a Muslim itself, okay, but then also any kind of symbol, even hijab, wearing hijab, even wearing proper clothes, okay, they're going to basically this kind of attack, okay, towards this kind of elements, we can be considered as racism. Okay, and then according to Bayrah and Hafiz, okay, in 2019, sometimes according to their research, okay, this kind of Islamophobia can also be used, okay, as a political tool. Okay, and then sadly, this Islamophobia actually it is basically exists, okay, in our Muslim majority countries. Okay, so of course when it comes to Islamophobia, if it is happen in the West, okay, it is something that for us, okay, it's okay because they don't understand Islam, okay, they don't understand Muslims, okay, but then when it's happened in our own majority Muslim countries, it is very something which is quite spectacular, okay. And then of course, okay, now why, okay, how this situation happened, basically how this Islamophobia happened in Muslim majority countries. Okay, so according to this research, okay, by Hafiz and Fatre. According to them, basically this kind of Islamophobic happened because one, influence of colonialism. Even in majority Southeast Asia, we also having this problem. Because we still have the influence of colonialism in our system, even in our structure. And then not just that, when it comes to the westernization of values, they tend to take this higher than whatever values that already there in their cultures. And then we also have, secondly, according to their research, because of self westernization. Where here they believe that by embracing westernization values, then they can be basically, they can take over, they can basically, take control over the country. And then not just that, it is also for them, it is important, to modernize their country. And then by doing this modernization, they also in the same line, they're also taking the Western values. And then this is for my finding. Basically for Malay Muslims, this happen, Islamophobia can happen because of one, limited understanding on the concept of modernization. So when someone said we are modern, so they don't need to have the Malay Muslim culture. We are modern, so we don't need to wear hijab. We are modern, so we don't need to speak in Malay, for example. And then not just that, we also have sympathizers, to those to westernization values and ideology, which is basically not necessarily should be there. But then since we are modern, we need to some sort of believe in these westernization values. And then of course when it comes to Malay Muslim, it is totally opposite with whatever that we have in our tradition and our values. Now since we have that kind of situation, in among our Muslim Malays, we can see that basically this is the main impact, that we can get, by having this kind of limited understanding of modernization. And then of course sympathizers, especially for this westernization values. We will have one group of Muslim Malays who are very laxity in their attitudes, which means that they just even when come to the appreciation of towards their own Muslim Malays culture, they just take it very easy. Some sort of it's okay to pray 3 times a day. If you pray too much 5 times, it's already too much. So they have this kind of attitude, which is taking it to very less appreciation towards their own culture. And then not just that, when it comes to we also have a second group, which is very extreme, in their attitude, which means that in order to protect this culture, this Muslim Malay culture, we need to do everything that we must, to protect our root, which sometimes it can be very extreme, which lead to sometimes total rejection of modernization. And then this can lead our society, not even develop. And then we have these two ends. We have the laxity, and then we have the extreme group. So this is a few case studies, which is currently happening in Asia. First of all, we have the issue on the LGBTQ movement in Asia. We can see that here, especially this observation which was done, based on content analysis, and then by observation from the collection of opinions, especially from social media. We can see that basically, we have this, sympathizers, oh no, now this person who cannot even basically identify himself, whether he's a male or female, now he going to convert convert from Islam, something like that. And then not just that, we also have judgment, judgment by our judges, who are basically, you can say that they're considering our, basically what we have, okay, specifically under Sharia law, basically it's not that, you know, just or not modern, and then regarding this issue, uh, latest Sultan Selangor, I think today, early in the morning, okay, he made a statement, because this person who basically, just, went out from Islam can be punished with, death penalty. Okay, of course that we're going to see another, negative feedback, especially regarding to Islam and Muslims in Malaysia. Okay, and then second case we have, okay, the issue of the use of Allah's name, okay, basically in Bible. Okay, basically this issue can be traced back from 2013. Okay, and then recently, okay, only a few days ago, Malaysian High Court already ruled that Christian can use word Allah in their publication. Okay, but then based on my observation, okay, basically even Christians now start to feel scared, because of this use of Allah's name in their kitab. Okay, and then when it comes to Malay cultures, of course, okay, again, our group, okay, our society can be divided into two groups who just take it very easy, or never mind, they can use Allah's name, and then we have another group who is very extreme. Oh no, they want to use Islam, Allah Ta'ala's name in their kitab, And then lastly, the issue on conversion. Okay, of course, this is also happening quite recently. Okay, where one person, one individual, okay, managed to declare that she is non-Muslim. Okay, because basically she was born and even raised as a non-Muslim. Only her name is Muslim. Okay, and then we have another one case. Okay, where okay, of course, but then when it comes to this case, she is an Indonesian lady. And then it is, basically the Sharia court in Malaysia face this kind of, challenges, challenges, yeah, on regarding whether, because they don't have any jurisdiction, okay, to basically to charge this person, okay. But then again, when it comes to the opinions, okay, when it comes to Malay Muslims, okay, again we have those groups who are very relaxed on this issue, and then we have those who are very extreme in this issue. Okay, and then sometimes even they want to do something which is, basically beyond the rules of law. Okay, so how should we do to cure this situation? Okay, so this is my recommendation. First of all, we need to have, we need to consider wasatiyah approach. Okay, what is wasatiyah? Wasatiyah is basically moderation, which is, basically, basically there's no exact word to translate it in English. Okay, but then it is according to Prof. Kamal Hassan, he translate wasatiyah as justly balanced concept, justly balanced approach. Okay, where this should be taken in our policy and lawmaking process. Okay, and then secondly, into empowerment, okay, we need to do a campaign maybe, okay, for empowerment of Malay Muslim culture. It is okay to be Malay Muslim, in the same time also we can also still, be modern, and then just that, okay, we need to have, very strong consideration on our Malay Muslim cultures in education and parenting courses. Okay, it's just not simply just depending on artistic value, okay, because nowadays majority, okay, even our ministries, okay, they love for Malays to preserve their artistic culture, okay, but not this Muslim Malays culture, so this is, we need to consider about this, okay. And then when it comes to court is the guardian of morality. They should play their role as the guardian of morality, and then morality should be enforced through court decisions. Okay, not just, basically, oh, this law is basically not just, and then that's it. Because, they should take, a higher step as those who holding the position as judiciary. They should, consider their role as, to protect morality itself. Okay, and then basically, when it comes to the judgment of the High Court just now, basically involving those, gay case, okay. Basically the judges, that doesn't even suggest to the prosecution to prosecute these people under the penal code, which is quite sad. Okay, and then of course we need also to empower our Islamic law and Sharia courts. Here we need to have a serious collaboration between federal and state religious authorities. Okay, basically, however, in Malaysia so far, we can on having this this religious argument without considering the impact towards our Muslim Malay societies, and then this is we need to basically uh, to unite, okay, and then forget our differences, okay, because it quite severe impact towards society, okay. Okay, before I end my presentation, this is a verse, okay, from surah Ali Imran, okay. Okay, kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. Okay, the first part is much more relevant to Malay Muslim culture, okay, Malay Muslim society, okay, and then we already been given the best instrument, Sharia, okay, and then we already been declared as the best nation, the best ummah for the mankind, because we doing good, we prevent harm, okay. So this is the time for us to rethink about our why whether we do have Islamophobia in our why we need to overcome this Islamophobia among our Malay Muslims. Okay, so thank you so much for listening my presentation. I hope I'm not exceeding my time.